Welcome to Kansas City. Today we're going to talk about something very important to brokers out there who have been dabbling around level funded but have not jumped in first. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're afraid of what is coming inside of the level funded sales process, and they do not want to screw this up or lose a potential client due to them being a complete greenhorn or a complete novice on this. Now, if you are a seasoned broker inside the level funded space, you might pick up something just by watching this. But if you are a new guy, I cannot encourage you strongly enough to spend the next 5 minutes with us, and we will walk through some of the big mistakes, some of the things you can stay ahead of so that your first case goes well, and so you can get to your second, your third, and your entire book of business running well with level funding. So the first thing that you're going to need to do whenever you're working on your first level funded case is set the table well with your client. Tom, what does that mean, set the table? It means when you're sitting down with your client, you need to set the table on a couple different sides of things. One, set the table in time frame. If you sit down and you say it's going to be 30 minutes and I can get you a rate, 30 minutes later they're going to call you a liar. So you need to set the table, say this is going to be a couple of weeks. It's going to be a lot of work, mostly for me. I'm going to do most of it as the broker. But you as the business owner are going to need to do a couple things as well. And name those things. Tell them that you're going to need to tell your employees they have to fill out this 2-page application. When the boss tells them to do something, it gets done. When some broker asks them to do something, it doesn't get done. Use the boss's authority and tell him that you're going to do that. I need you to ask your employees to fill these out, or tell your employees to fill these out. Number 2, you're going to tell the employer that you need a copy of the quarterly wage and tax. Why? Well, we're going to make sure everybody who said they're eligible is sending in either an enrollment or a waiver. Do this up front. It's another piece of information that you are going to need no matter what, that if you don't ask for up front, they're going to say, what? This is brand new. This thing's dragging on way too long. So set the table up front and say, this is going to take a couple of weeks. I'm going to do a lot of the work, but a couple things that you're going to need to do as a business owner are these 3 things. I need you to tell your employers to fill out the apps. I need you to get the quarterly wage and tax. And I need you to sit down with me to explore what it is you actually need inside of your health plan. And that's step number 2. After you've set the timetable, you need to set the professionalism side of the table. You are an expert. Sit on their side of the table, same side of the table, and walk through a questionnaire building the appropriate health plan for that company. Because a lot of times people just have a plan that feels or was ham-hocked together over time. When you sit down and you walk through that questionnaire, you discover the deep needs. And when you discover those deep needs, you can solve them more perfectly. Now, there are no perfect solutions, but the better you can get, the more accurate you can get, the better off your chances are going to be to sell that plan. So number 1, set time frame. Number 2, set professionalism. And number 3, set the expectation of referral up front. You're going to do this early in the sales process, and you're going to say, Sally, I know I'm going to do a lot of work. We've covered most of the things that I'm going to have to do and how long it's going to take. I'm only able to do this level of work because I work on referral. Make sure that you're not just getting a sale, you're getting a client, and you're getting a referral engine out of each and every step of the process. Now, if you need more explaining around that, there's videos that'll walk you through it. But set the table up front in those 3 ways: time frame, professionalism, and expectation of referral. All right? Those are the first big 3 things you need to do. Next, whenever you're talking through that questionnaire, make sure that they understand that there are 2 main approaches in small group benefits. There is the fully insured model, and there is the self-funded model, otherwise called level funding on small group. Explain to them that this shifts the incentives. You have the opaque model and you have the transparent model. Realize that you can get opacity and speed, but you will pay with price. Or you can get accuracy through due diligence. And this is the self-funded model. So you're going to explain those big philosophical differences, and these are going to help you later on in the sales process. The next step in that, after you leave your employer meeting, is you have that employer introduce you to their bookkeeper so you can get the quarterly wage and tax, and you're using the boss's authority to do it. And 2, you have the boss send out the applications to all of their employees with a due date. 3 days. It's more than enough time. Bob, Sally, Sue, I need this by Friday. You go back on Friday and you collect all of them. And here's a little trick. You collect all of them against the quarterly wage and tax that you get from the bookkeeper. And you say, where is Joe's, George's, and Abigail's application. Check right then. And use the boss's authority to say, I need you to, Joe, Abigail, and Jorge have not finished these. Can you let them know that we need these ASAP? And the boss calling them out on not doing something gets it done very, very quickly. The next part of this is you're going to now send this to your general agent. Now, applications in general or broad strokes can be used for multiple different carriers. So when you send in your batch of applications, they're going to go and send it out to a bunch of different people that they know, like, and trust. One of them, if you're listening to this, is going to be ATA. It might be other TPAs. It might be other insurance carriers. With that, they're going to come back with rates. These rates are going to be the pre-screen rates. Now, this is not a number you should take to your client because they are not finalized. With these pre-screen rates, you're going to get another piece of information that's required. Abigail she put that she's 5 foot tall and she didn't put her weight. We need that. So there's going to be a little bits and pieces of information you're going to need to track down as part of your job as the broker. So as you track down that information, what you're going to end up doing is sitting with that business owner afterwards, and you're going to talk through the differences between your fully insured options and your level funded options. The difference between somebody else's plan that they pay for a membership of and their plan that they own. And again, you've set your presentation and the philosophical difference earlier in the conversation. So they're going to see the difference there. And then you're going to talk about a few different things. In that conversation that you had with them, you're going to talk about the needs that were actually identified. You're going to say how this plan solves these needs and how this plan solves these other needs. And then this is a salesman's trick here, but it's the best thing you can do. Is you say, look, we did all of this work. Here's a stack of all the options we had. Here are the two that I think are great for you. This one for this reason and this one for this reason. And in doing that, it's a choice between A or B, not a choice between yes or no. And when they decide on A or B, then you go to work putting that plan in place because it's not done yet. Once they sign, they need to send in their first month's premium or their first month's cost to bind the group. After that's done, you need to follow up with those group members with their ID cards. Because as silly as it sounds, people don't think that they have coverage until they have that ID card. So if you want to stay ahead of these issues, you want to make sure you deliver them. And when you deliver them, you go back for one more thing, which is, Bob, business owner Bob, we went through, we found that you had this plan with these things. You really needed this. We saved you X number of percentage of where you would have been without us. We have a worksheet you can do. And I'm going to bet that you haven't had time to fill out that card that I left behind for you to give me a referral for the next person that I go out and fight for. And in that moment, that business owner will say one of two things. Actually, I've got it right here. Or you're right. Let me go ahead and do that right now. When people are reminded of things that they've said they will do and then that's brought to the attention, they will complete them. And you have now turned a single sale, your first case, into an engine that will perpetuate because you're not going to ask for one referral. You're going to ask for two because chances are one of those two you'll be able to help. So as you move forward, the engine perpetuates itself. I know it's going to be difficult, but make sure you set the professionalism tone that you're not doing this for free. You don't need practice. What you need are clients who are willing to explore with you so you can build as best as possible. You are a craftsman of insurance. This is a mindset change. And number 3, realize you only earn the referral when you've earned the trust of the business owner. So do everything you can to serve them as deeply as possible. That process, if followed, will help you generate more and more clients and will keep you from doing cold calls and keep you doing what you actually need to do, which is sit down and build the custom solutions for your client. I hope this is helpful. Get out there, help some people. And if you have more questions about Level Funded, we're here to help. All right, we'll see you in a bit.